They said no one should talk to the quiet old man who wanted the empty halls of the museum, the one whose uniform medals shone brighter than the staff's courage. Tourists ignored him, officers avoided him, and even the guides pretended not to hear his accented English when he asked simple questions. No one knew who he really was, no one cared, until the janitor, a single Pakistani father named Imran, heard the old man whisper 3 lonely words in Japanese, and answered him back. What followed was a story that would shake the museum, expose a hidden past, and teach everyone watching that a single act of kindness can rewrite a man's destiny. Subscribe to our channel and like the video, and stay tuned for more content like this. The day began like any other for Imran, sweeping the marble floors of the National Naval Museum while humming softly to himself, thinking about his daughter Aisha waiting at home with her homework. He worked long nights and longer mornings, but he always told himself one thing. Dignity is in effort, not in titles. And so he swept, polished, lifted, and repaired everything he could because every paycheck meant school fees, medicine for his mother, and food on the table. But lately, something unusual had become part of his routine. Every morning, he saw the same elderly man sitting alone on the bench near the naval battle exhibit. A small frame, sharp eyes, medals pinned neatly to a faded navy blue coat, medals no one in the museum recognized. The staff only whispered, "He's some retired officer. He thinks he's important. Just ignore him. He doesn't understand English." What struck Imran most was not the man's silence but the way people treated him, like a shadow blocking their way, not a human seeking connection. Guards brushed past him. Visitors took selfies right in front of him as if he wasn't even there. The old man watched the hologram of the Great Eastern Naval War every day, his eyes misty, his lips moving as though reciting something he didn't want to forget. One evening, as Imran cleaned the glass exhibit, he heard the man mumbling in a trembling voice. He didn't understand the words at first, but the rhythm hit him, soft, precise. "Japanese?" The man whispered again, a little louder this time. "Doko desu ka?" It clicked instantly. Imran froze. Growing up, he had once worked part-time at a Japanese-owned factory, where he spent nights memorizing the language from old manuals and workers who laughed at his accent. He hadn't spoken Japanese for years, yet the sound of it still lived inside him. He turned slowly. "Sumimasen, nani o saga hidemasu ka?" "Excuse me, what are you searching for?" The old man lifted his head sharply, as if those words had pulled him from a deep ocean. For the first time, he smiled. Not a polite smile, but one of recognition, of relief, of finally being heard. You speak," he stuttered in accented Japanese. "You can understand me?" Imran nodded gently. "I can try." The man bowed deeply, so deeply that Imran stepped forward nervously. "My name is Admiral Hiroshi Yamato," he whispered. "I am the last surviving commander of the Pacific Peace Convoy. And I've come here to find something I lost 70 years ago." Imran felt the weight of the moment settle in his chest. No one had helped the old man for weeks. They assumed he was just another confused foreigner. But here he was, an admiral, carrying decades of unspoken stories, sitting alone in a country far from his own. That night, Imran stayed late, talking to him. Hiroshi told him about a secret wartime mission, a betrayal inside his command, and a final letter he sent to a man who never received it. That letter, he believed, was somewhere in this very museum, locked in an old collection delivered after the war. But no one listened to him long enough to help. Imran did. And that simple act would soon pull them both into a mystery buried under dust, pride, and forgotten history, one that neither of them was prepared for. For the next week, Imran became the Admiral's shadow, not as a janitor, but as a friend. He wheeled him through the archives, read out old naval logs, and translated conversations with staff who refused to slow down long enough to care. Still, resistance grew. "Why are you wasting time?" the guard snapped. "That old man is confused," said the curator. But Imran saw something in Hiroshi's trembling hands, in the way he stared at every rusted compass and faded map. This wasn't confusion, this was desperation. One night, after his shift ended, they finally found it, an old metal box, sealed with wax, labeled Recovered Naval Letters, 1945. Inside, buried beneath decades of dust, was a single unopened envelope, stained yellow with time. Hiroshi's breath hitched. "That's my handwriting." His hands shook so violently that Imran opened it for him. He unfolded the fragile paper slowly, as if touching history with bare fingertips. The letter was addressed to a Pakistani signal officer named Captain Suleiman Khan, a man Hiroshi had once saved during a naval collision. They had promised each other that after the war, they would meet again as brothers, not enemies. But the letter never reached him. Tears slid down Hiroshi's wrinkled cheeks as he whispered, "I came to apologize. I came to tell him he saved my humanity." Imran swallowed hard. "Captain Suleiman was my grandfather." The room went still. The Admiral cried openly, bowing again and again, repeating apologies Imran never expected to hear. "You owe me nothing," Imran said softly. "Your letter came home. And so did you." He took the Admiral's hand. "You're not alone anymore. I will stand with you until we finish what you came here for." And that night, side by side, a janitor and an admiral, they walked out of the museum not as strangers, but as family bound by history, honor, and a letter that had waited 70 years to reach the right hands. The next day, everything would change. The media, the government, the museum, all of them would soon know who this old man truly was. But for now, one truth shined brighter than medals or titles. Sometimes the greatest heroes aren't the ones wearing uniforms. They're the ones carrying mops, brooms, and hearts brave enough to listen.